Most of the coaches, consultants, and service providers that I do LinkedIn audits with, they fill out a form before they come on and meet me. And one of the things that they pretty much always say is, how can I make my content more compelling and engaging so that people interact and with me on LinkedIn and buy from me? And what this comes down to is exactly what I'm going to cover in today's live. So basically, what I see happening is that people create content, but very often the content they create is about themselves and not about their ideal clients. And if you think about it like this, your ideal clients don't give two hoots about you. They really don't. What they care about is how can they find a solution to their problem. They have something that's keeping them awake at 3 in the morning, something that's making them wake up at 3 in the morning. They're sitting up in the bed and they're working, something they're writing into their journals, something that maybe they haven't even voiced to their closest loved ones. Or maybe it's the type of thing that they're phoning their friends about and they're in floods of tears. That's the kind of problem that you want to be able to solve, but you also want to be able to talk about it in your content. And when you do, that's what's going to make people stop and pay attention. It's as simple as that. To create content and stories like that, there's a few different elements that you need to factor. And so this is what I go through when we're doing the content audit. So it's the how clear are you on what your clients' demographics are, their pain points and psychographics. So their psychographics like pain points, their frustrations, irritations, aspirations, needs, wants, and desires. How clear are you on all of that? And if you're not clear, that's the number one reason on that. If you're not clear on that, that's the number one reason people are not buying from you. Another reason, or they're not engaging with your content. Another thing is that you need to be talking about step by step what it's like to work with you and share types of things that you might say to a client if you were to work with them. So it could be, I had a client this week and she was talking about she followed some of the steps that we'd created in relation to we did her brand messaging and story. Next step was to go and start posting on LinkedIn using the templates I've created. And now her problem is she's got too many clients and we need to look at a different business model for her. So she's a coach. We need to switch now from one-to-one into group coaching and support her with that because that's a whole new product and offer suite, right? So it's kind of like, okay, let's come back now and see how can we do that. So it's talking about stories like that. I create a new problem for my client. That could be a headline or a hook. People are like, oh, what kind of a problem did you create for your client? Why would you create a problem for your client? That's the kind of thing. So when you start talking about things in that way, what will happen is you'll intrigue people, you'll capture their attention, and they'll read your content. The other thing is to talk really clearly about what success looks like on the other side of working with you. But you need to be really vivid and concrete in what that description is. So it could be, instead of going on LinkedIn and scrolling endlessly, comparing yourself to all of your competitors who just seem to flood your feed, but none of your ideal clients, and you're posting, you're not getting any engagement. Instead of that, what you have is people who are sending you DMs asking how to work with you. And you're in a situation where your new problem is how do you create a group coaching program, that sort of thing, right? So it's the before was there's nothing happening, you're stuck, you're feeling shit, to oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed with so many clients. So it's creating that picture, that vivid imagery so that people can see that. And you can take it a step further. It can be like you wake up in the morning, you reach for your phone, you check LinkedIn, you're expecting to see notifications, but actually the notifications are in your message inbox. And when you look at it, you have 5 new unread messages, and of those 5 unread messages, people are asking how can they work with you, and the excitement rushes in and so on, right? So you can really get descriptive in what that looks like. doing that and telling stories in that way, it's a skill. It takes time, it takes practice. The way you might have written a corporate email in the past is not how you write captions and content for your social media. When you're writing it for social media, technically what it is it's salesmanship in print. Even if it's educational content or funny content, entertaining content, it is technically salesmanship in print. You can add value in that. That's great if you do. Or as I say, you can entertain or be informative. All of those things are essential to get people to engage and want to work with you. So I've talked about problems, pain points, psychographics. I've talked about what success looks like. The other thing is being really clear on who you serve and the thing that they want. So let's say, for example, people might type on Google, do a search for me, brand strategist, business mentor, LinkedIn strategist, that sort of thing. Then I'm going to come up. But that's what they type on Google. That's what they want. They want that title. But it could be, they might also type how to get more clients on LinkedIn, how to stand out from other people on LinkedIn, how to create a messaging strategy on LinkedIn, how to, I'm a StoryBrand guide, so StoryBrand Guide Ireland, how to apply the StoryBrand framework in Ireland, something like that, right? It's using that language in your content will also help you get found by strangers because what you use on LinkedIn, the words that you type into LinkedIn can also help you get found on Google. So there's multi-benefit. So the other thing then is that's your niche. The other point here is calling people to action. Something I see really often is that people forget to add a call to action to their social media content. And if you don't have a call to action, if you don't tell people what to do, they won't do anything. They won't do anything. So you need to tell them what to do. And that could be follow you, DM you, comment in the comments. It could be any of those or something else. But if you don't tell people what to do, they won't do anything. And so they're not going to engage with you. They're not going to DM you if you don't do or have a call to action. So those are kind of the story elements in terms of that aspect. But there are a couple of other things that I ask in the audit, and some of those things, let me just open it up here now and I'll go through what it is from a content perspective. Some of those things are as well from a content perspective and getting people to engage is it is about, aligning your content topics and expertise with what your ideal clients are actually interested in. And that comes back to the pain points and their goals. It could be as well things that their values that you have in your business that will resonate with them. Another thing is I really do recommend that people use AI to help you create your content. So if you struggle with creating your content or you're struggling with getting engagement on your content, what you can do is you can write your post and then put it into AI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, any of those, and you can ask it to improve the content, but you need to tell it what your goal is. Are you looking for people to follow you based on this post? Are you looking for people to engage based on this post? Or are you looking for people to take a different action, like send you a DM or visit your website or what have you? You need to explain to the AI what your goal is and ask it to pretend that it's an expert copywriter. And when you do that, what it will produce for you is that salesmanship in print that will help you get better engagement or conversions. So I really do recommend that you use AI to help you. And one of the other things as well with content, then it can be to a couple of other things in terms of engagement with content, rather. It could be if you're not engaging on other people's content, then what's going to happen is LinkedIn will not maybe show your content to as many people as you'd like, and therefore your ideal clients are not actually seeing your content. So it's important that you comment and have a commenting strategy for LinkedIn so that you're actively engaging and working on the platform. And I suppose to come back to the final point here on content is metrics. So every time you create content, that affects your metrics. And what I would suggest that you do is that you track the performance of your content and you use the information from that content and those metrics to refine and update what your content strategy is going to be. So, for example, one of the first things that I would encourage you to look at is the audience. Is the right audience seeing your content when you look at impressions? And is it the right audience who are engaging on your content when you look at the metrics as well? So you can dive into that in the analytics page directly within LinkedIn. And that's the first thing. Is it hitting the right person? If it's not, if it's hitting the right person and you're still not getting engagement, the second question I'd ask is, are you getting traffic off of LinkedIn and engagement off of LinkedIn? Do you have people going to your website and booking there? And then if so, I would make sure that you have Google Analytics set up on your website and you can track then, are people coming away from LinkedIn and going directly to your website and working with you? That's important too, because they might not engage on LinkedIn depending on what you're offering, depending on what you do. For example, maybe you're a dispute resolution expert in construction. People might not comment on your content because they might go, oh, people will know I'm in a dispute if I'm commenting on this person's thing, right? So, or if you're a money mindset coach and somebody comments on your content, then they might feel, and I'm just thinking, people might feel they'll be judged if they do that. So it's the fear of judgment might stop people engaging on your content depending on who or what you do, who you serve or what you do. So the point I'm trying to make here with the metrics is you need to make sure that you're tracking the right metrics. And looking at engagement isn't always, the engagement on LinkedIn isn't always the right thing to be reviewing. And the impressions on LinkedIn isn't always the right thing to be reviewing, but you do need to look at it and then understand what that data is telling you so that you can refine your strategy going forward. So again, to come back to that point, if you're not getting engagement on LinkedIn and you're looking at your Google Analytics and that's where you've been telling people to go in your call to action, but that's there, you're not getting the engagement over there, there's a break somewhere. There's something missing. There's a gap in either your messaging, your niche, your unique value proposition, or your offer. One of those four things, you have a gap in it. And if you get clear on that, that's going to be a game changer for you. What I would encourage you to do is that next week, all of next week, from Monday the 27th, right the way through till Friday, every day at 2:30 p.m. Irish time, I am going to be doing a LinkedIn, kind of like a LinkedIn boot camp. And we are going to cover everything related to content, commenting, getting really intentional with your time on LinkedIn. It's a LinkedIn visibility bootcamp, and it is about helping you find your ideal clients, connect with them, and convert them. So it's about helping you do all of that without being self-promotional and feeling ick. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, send me a DM and just call it bootcamp or challenge or something like that. I'll know what you mean, and I will send you over a link to register. It's totally free. There's about maybe 70 or 80 people registered already, so it'll be great fun, and we'll all hold each other accountable and do it together. So it is about coming out from the shadows, putting yourself front and center, and really refining that content. I'm going to give you some of my templates so that you can get some engagement. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please comment below or send me a DM. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday. I hope you've not been blown away with Storm Owen if you're here in Ireland. I hope you haven't experienced too much damage or anything like that, and that you're safe and well.